All right, Bob, thank you very much. And really, it is amazing, the atmosphere in here, considering everything that's gone on this week with the Jayhawks. Number 13, Kansas, the regular season finale of the Big 12, hosting the Bears of Baylor, who have never in their history won a game inside this building. It's all a part of Saturday's showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. Big 12 champs for a lot of years in a row. They got all kinds of banners here at Bog Allen, and for the first time in a long time, they won't be hanging a conference title banner this year. Texas Tech, Kansas State. One of those two, maybe both, will be hanging a banner at the end of this regular season. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside Fran Fraschilla. Great to have you with us. It is still rocking in here, despite the fact that they haven't had a week like this in a long, long time.
Well, no title, no seniors. Students are on spring break. The seed for Kansas City in the tournament already set. But, leave it to Jayhawk fans. 16,300, and this place will be rocking, I promise, in part because of the celebration of an incredible 14-year run.
There were many people in this building who were not alive the last time Kansas didn't win the Big 12. There certainly were many people who don't remember what it was like, as it was a long time ago, 15 years ago, the last time that Kansas didn't at least share the Big 12 title. 89 different players were a part of at least one of those conference championship teams. We've had now 4 presidential terms since the last time that Bill Self and Kansas did win a title in the Big 12. And look, they've had a good year. It's not like it's been a disaster, but they're going to fall short. The last time Kansas didn't win, there were a lot of things that were different about our world, weren't there?
LeBron James
was a rookie.
How about that?
That's pretty amazing. Ochai Agbaji, who is a big part of this Kansas team this year, he was 3 years old the last time the Jayhawks didn't hang a banner.
And remember, 14 years is the longest streak in NCAA history at the Division I level. And a lot of people feel we may not be around to see another streak like that for a very, very, very long time.
There's just no place like it. All anybody has talked about all week has been disappointment. This is the team that didn't do it. How did it not happen? The incredibly disappointing performance on the road on Tuesday in Norman. And yet here we are.
I think they're here to celebrate these kids, 4 freshmen, remember, in the lineup. And undefeated at home. Keep that in mind.
I think Kansas does feel like that's something to play for here today. A chance to finish off a perfect home season. Meanwhile, Baylor playing without one of its best players, Makai Mason. He will not go today. That is a problem for the Bears, who have had, really, in their own way, a very remarkable season. A lot of those shots are going to have to go down for Baylor to win today.
Well, you're right. And Scott Drew told us before the game, their seed is already set. They are the 4 seed. And so Makai Mason, precautionary. Remember, he's been in a boot all season when he hasn't played. And he really hasn't practiced much, but he's given them a huge lift this season.
The grad transfer from Yale, he's been their leading scorer, and he's played well when he has been healthy. Lawson was fouled. Baylor's not deep today. Foul trouble is going to be a huge issue if they get into foul trouble. I think you got to give Scott Drew. He and Bill Self together are the 2 longest tenured coaches in this conference, the all-time winningest coach in the history of Baylor, and maybe as good a job as he's ever done with this team this year.
I agree.
A little open look for Dedrick Lawson. That one usually goes down for him.
This is a Baylor team that if you get the ball on the glass, they have a chance to go back and get their own rebound.
Now, McClure's taking 2 threes. You might be thinking, but that's what Baylor wants to do.
Yeah, well, they'll shoot it and they'll rebound it. They're the best rebounding team in the Big 12 on the offensive end.
Well, it's been a strange week, don't you think, for Bill Self? I mean, he was here for every one of those 14 Big 12 titles, and yet he's had to answer all the questions all week long about what happened this year.
You make it sound like he was a bystander. I mean, he had a lot to do with the 14.
I would say. No matter what else happens in his career, more national championships, Final Fours, to me, when his career is finally over, and it's a long way from being over, that's the top line.
Could be.
Butler on the move, and that's the first bucket of the game.
Jared Butler's had a very good freshman season. They're going head-to-head right now. Butler and one of the other outstanding freshman guards, Devon Dotson.
Good pass.
Yep.
And then the touch to David McCormack.
Little warning here by Joe DeRosa. Not going to tee anybody. One thing about attacking that Baylor zone is, I think Joe DeRosa is just sending a message. I like that, preventive officiating. But I think when you attack this zone, and by the way, Kansas has had great success against the Baylor zone. They bring 4 guys out, and you have to get the ball down on the baseline where there's only one defender. That was a perfect example right there.
Baylor has never won here, ever. Hard screen, man. Dotson got smoked, and that leads to the basket from Butler.
And Butler off to a good start.
I think Devon Dotson's okay, but he got up slowly. Almost a turnover. Dotson's so good at that, he got hammered.
Now let's go back and watch Kansas attack that zone. You see there's only one defender back there, Freddie Gillespie, and that Baylor defense can't recover. This looks like a good, solid, legal screen right there, and that's David McCormack's fault because he's got to be up with his man yelling, pick left, screen left, and didn't do it.
Well, David is young. He's one of those freshmen you're talking about.
Oh, lots of enthusiasm. He's getting a chance to start at the end of the year. I love his energy.
A very talented guy. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player with time here.
I would concur. Former McDonald's All-American.
But it's hard when you're doing the analysis of why this was the year that it ended for Kansas, this incredible streak, this historic streak. It's hard not to ask, well, even if you just had one of Azubuike or DeSosa, would the end result have been different?
It would have been.
I think the answer is yes.
Well, Azubuike for sure. They were 9-0 when he got hurt, so they were number 1 in the country, in fact.
I think everybody around here figured at some point this year, Silvio DeSosa would have a chance to come back and play. He was so good down the stretch for them last year. Butler got the 3 off, rebound Jayhawks.
Baylor has been equally pretty good in both man and zone this year, Dave. So I think they'll start out in this, see if they can hit the curveball, and then switch to the fastball if they have to.
Raji's bad miss on that 3 against the zone. There have been some years where Baylor plays just about 100% zone defense. Yeah. A little different this year. McClure has had several good looks. That one was way off the mark.
I think King feels it upon himself to stay aggressive offensively. And watch Abaji's follow through right now. Watch him pull the hand back and to the side. And when he was really stroking, we showed the swan neck where he just followed through straight down. And I was watching him in practice yesterday. I'm not coaching their team. I'm not going to say anything. But I really felt like he's gotten away from what made him a good shooter about a month ago. I saw him make 5 in a row here.
Mitch Lightfoot is going to go to the free throw line. So he's having to play more minutes.
Well, listen, don't feel sorry for Kansas because they do have 4 McDonald's All-Americans out there. They played the toughest schedule in college basketball. They have 15 quality Quadrant 1 and Quadrant 2 wins. And they're going to Kansas City next week. Maybe you would hope, if you're a Jayhawk fan, with a chip on their shoulder. So
I think the conference tournament is a little more important for the Jayhawks this year. I mean, it's always important for their fans, and it's a huge event, and it's close here to campus, and they'll have thousands of fans in that arena. But I think in terms of getting some footing away from home going into the NCAA tournament, it's a big weekend.
I think it makes sense. This is a rare year where they went 3-6 on the road. Kansas, when they win the title, it's usually 5-4, 6-3, undefeated at home.
And you were there on Tuesday, and I wasn't the only one that has just been ugly on the road. That's a blocking foul, I think, inside the restricted area.
Yeah, I think, and Bill Self talked about it, the energy and the fatigue in Norman, they looked like a tired basketball team. They really did, and he was not happy with their energy. Oklahoma got off to a great start.
Those road numbers, it's hard to believe in a lot of ways. Just a totally different team away from Fog Allen. Bill Self using the replay up on a big video board to make his case with the officials. Mario Kegler, who's a transfer from Mississippi State, his first year at Baylor. And he's mostly had a good year. He's been one of their best players.
Yeah, he's come on late, especially. Remember, he was suspended first 6 games of the year for a team rules violation, but he's given them a lot of offensive punch. If you're Baylor, you really got to be concerned about Lawson inside and out. He's been so good against his own.
Grimes from Lawson gets the friendly bounce.
Probably the one guy, much like Malik Newman a year ago, who Kansas could really hope catches fire here in the next couple weeks.
And Malik Newman did.
He did.
Last year.
He sure did.
A dribble move from Butler. I thought he was going to shoot himself. Vital sticks with it. There's the guy Bill Self calls the best offensive rebounder in this league.
Oh, yeah. He tortured Kansas in that Kansas win. It seems like forever ago. It was early January.
Kansas won in Waco. That was a good move by Lawson. Baylor took 31 more shots. 31 more shots on the field and lost at home.
Yes. Well, they were down 20. Got it all the way down to 3 or 4. Kansas wound up winning by 5. That was the first game without Tristan Clark for the Baylor Bears.
Devontae Bamboo getting harassed, almost traveled, and with the left hand, Butler gets to the rim.
This kid is good now. This Butler kid is going to be a star at Baylor. And they've got some guards sitting out that they feel are just as good.
Jared Butler, it's an unusual story. He admitted he originally enrolled at Alabama, but before the school year started, left, came here, and was able to play right away.
Yeah. Transferred here, and he had some connections to Baylor. His high school coach, Coach Tweety Carter and Rico Gathers.
I thought that was a good pass, but it went right off Flo Thamba. That's a Baylor turnover. What a streak. We're going to talk a little bit more about the streak that has come to an end right after this. Well, I think it's appropriate. The streak has come to an end, but that doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be celebrated. All 89 of the players who had a part in winning 14 consecutive Big 12 titles. It's quite a list, isn't it?
That is cool. Yep, your name's up there. You played on one of those teams, you're up there forever. Some great names, some underrated guys, some walk-ons, and there they are. You know, let me put it in more perspective. We could do this throughout the broadcast. The last team to win the Big 12 title outright, the 2004 Oklahoma State team that went to the Final Four. By the way, Bill Self, an Oklahoma State graduate. Tony Allen was a star on that team. He played all 14 years in the NBA and then retired before the streak ended.
A full, long NBA career came and went. Kansas won the Big 12 title every year he played as an active NBA player. Retires this year, and the streak comes to an end.
Yeah, it seems forever. Nice post.
Awesome.
Yep. Really good out of the timeout right there.
You guys talk about it a lot. Who's better out of timeouts than Bill Self?
He's among the best. I don't have the analytics, but if you chart him year by year, he's always in that top 5.
And Devontae Bamboo is a junior college transfer. He's been a pretty good scorer for Baylor. Almost an entirely new Baylor team this year. Matt Mayer did not shoot. Shot clock winding down. Just a heave, and it almost went off the glass. Here come the Jayhawks.
See, this is a different type of style of play now. Lawson with, look at his speed right to the rim. Yep. He's hard to guard, boy. They've had to change their offense a number of times this year. Lightfoot in the game, and that allows Lawson to play more on the perimeter and stretch the floor because of how well he's shooting.
Now, Dotson struggled the last few games, I think it's fair to say. And maybe it's unfair that he's become so critical for this Kansas team, but they need him to play much better. They do.
There's no question.
Gillespie from the elbow area. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Baylor.
Yeah, and because you have a shooter out there, a big guy like Lawson, he takes bigs away from the basket. And look at Dotson. He's just got just enough space to get to the rim, and he's as good at that as anybody you'll see in the country. The speed. He's a good finisher. He finishes over 60% at the rim, which is high for a 6'1" guard.
And he's fast, but he's also so strong.
Absolutely.
Lawson, that looked a little easy, but he missed the shot. Maybe the length of Baylor down low altered the shot from the corner of three. No good. Baylor hasn't hit a single one of them. That's going to be a foul against Mark Vital, and that'll be his second. That is a big, big call, and not a good one for Baylor.
Yeah, Mark Vital usually plays vertically inside. He was not happy with that call. I think the official had a good angle. So let's take a look right here. Watch Vital. A little bit of a push.
A little bit.
Yep. He stuck that. Watch the little ward off with the left arm. Not much.
Not
but
much.
Trust me, he didn't even need to do that.
It probably looked worse than it was. KJ Lawson traveled. But it's a huge loss for Baylor. Already missing Akai Mason, their leading scorer. He's not going to play today. Vital, who is the best offensive rebounder, arguably in the country, in the Big 12. I don't think many would dispute that. There's Mason next to Tristan Clark.
Yeah, Tristan Clark. We talked to him yesterday. The rehab is great. He was about to become one of the best players in the country nobody had heard of in January.
Butler short on the three. Offensive rebound, and the stick back goes from Gillespie.
What a season this kid has had. Former Division III player. He didn't even play much as a freshman up at Carleton College up in St. Paul, Minnesota. But the last month of the season, he has really improved. Maybe as much as any player in the Big 12. Transfer and a walk-on, now on scholarship.
That's a foul? No, it's a travel. That's a Kansas turnover. Jayhawks lead by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And in part by Sonic. Hurry into Sonic for the new Brunch Burger. Get it with tots for only $2.99.
Well, Fred Gillespie was a good, not great Division III player a couple of years ago for Carleton College. He came to Baylor as a walk-on and redshirted, earned a scholarship this year, and take a look at the numbers, particularly the last 12. Young man has been a gym rat for Scott Drew and is really developing into a nice player. He had 14 and 10 up at Iowa State a couple weeks ago, Dave, and with Tristan Clark back next year, some of these other young guys, Flo Samba. Nice piece of the puzzle, and a guy that earned, look at that, he's going to go into him again. But he's really earned his minutes.
A good, not great Division III player.
Exactly.
It's an amazing story. A backdoor play, and Meyer got fouled. And Baylor's got to be encouraged. They have not made a single three. The three-point bucket has been a huge part of their offense by design in their run through the Big 12. They haven't made one yet, and they're down by 2 with a chance to tie at the free throw line.
This young man, Matt Meyer from Austin, Texas, he played on one of Texas's best high school teams a year ago.
He doesn't take a lot of time at the line, which
no.
I like. Just shoot it.
He doesn't take a lot of time when he comes into a game.
No, he likes to get a shot up quickly. So 4 for 4 at the line for Baylor. Charlie Moore in the game. McCormick makes his move with the left hand.
Nicely done, coming off a career high in Norman, 18 points on Tuesday night.
Wouldn't it be something if he kind of burst on it? He's played well at times this year, but what if he takes a big step forward here in the last few weeks of the year?
I've always felt that he would wait his turn. That's foul. That he would be a good player.
All right, so back to the free throw line for Baylor. Huge night of college hoops here on ESPN. And we'll start in Chapel Hill, Duke and Carolina. It's the rematch, and apparently no Zion Williamson. We've heard that officially now. Then Michigan State, a chance to share or maybe win outright the Big Ten title on the line in East Lansing. The interstate rivalry, great rivalry. Virginia clinches the ACC with a win. They follow us against Louisville. And Duke and Carolina, winner clinches with a Virginia loss in the Big Ten. The winner clinches at least a share.
Can I ask you to handicap that game tonight, since you've seen both teams here in the last 10 days or so?
Those teams are, in a way, a lot like the two that you and I are watching here this afternoon, in that a lot of pieces are missing, banged up, critical players out. I think Michigan's going to play well tonight. Yeah. I think the Wolverines will come ready to play. Cassius Winston just torched them in Ann Arbor. It was a good play on the ball by Gillespie. Kegler out in the open. No shot. A foul on the floor. So don't count the basket.
It was interesting. Rick Crawford was across the court. Who's the lead official, made that call. You don't see the continuation as much anymore as you used to in college.
That one, to me, could have easily been a continuation.
I thought the ball was on the way up myself. But unlike the NBA, where if you get fouled at half court and take 2 steps and they count it, they're not judicious with that call anymore at the college level.
Here's McClure, wide open 3, and even that one doesn't go down. And Baylor cannot get one to go from the outside.
I do like the ball movement.
Yeah,
they got McClure,
great shot,
wide open shot, no question.
Now those are that's the shot that Baylor wants. They would take that every single time down the court.
Absolutely.
And you see, as you and I are talking about it, Scott Drew's telling King McClure, good, keep shooting
it. Yeah. Well, they're playing with house money today, really. They're the 4 seed. I think they're in the NCAA tournament. Most people do. They're resting Makai Mason.
Picked to finish 9th in the Big 12 preseason and missing for a good chunk of the year, arguably their 2 best players.
Yeah, and they've had a miraculous run at times. And getting back to David McCormick, the thing you really like about him is when he wasn't playing, Dave, early in the year and backing up Azubuike, he brought it every day in practice. He is a high-energy guy.
What about on this end of the floor?
Getting better. He moves his feet. He's got to learn to move his feet a little better. But his energy level is high. You love that about a big guy. I see him as a 3-4-year guy and a really popular Jayhawk because he brings it every night. Already becoming a crowd favorite.
They're letting him touch the ball a lot on the low block and even outside the paint. Here's Butler back in. Butler to Gillespie, who had it blocked.
I think that pass surprised Gillespie, and he had no balance when he caught it.
Nifty dribbling, and then Dotson just had it stripped away. Numbers for Baylor. Butler lays it in.
Tell you, this kid Matt Meyer, I love watching him play, man. He's like a punt returner. He's the guy that's going to not fair catch on the 5-yard line, and if he fumbles it, you're in trouble. If he runs it back, he's going to run it 80 yards.
He's 6'9". He was not giving the ball up on that break.
No.
He was not going to. He ultimately did, but he wanted to be the guy initiating things.
Watch this now. This is 6'9" coming at you. No look. Well done. Freshman to freshman. You know, I don't want to get Baylor fans too excited, but they are going to be not sneaky good next year. They have a chance to be sneaky great. A lot of guys back. Clark will be healthy. I mentioned couple of transfers sitting out that they absolutely love. Davion Mitchell from Auburn, Maceo Teague. Scott Drew wants to stay on the down low, if you know what I mean, going into next season.
Don't pump up expectations too high. Lawson made the first, makes the second at the line. Kansas back up by 2. It's been a tight first half here from Fog Allen.
Even without Mason, you can see the poise and the energy that Baylor plays with and why they've won games that people didn't think they would.
That was just an excellent dribble move by Butler, and then Kegler airballed the 3. Came out of his hand funny. I mean, he's not a great three-point shooter, but he's better than that one looked.
I agree. He hasn't. He's a guy that I think should play from inside out as opposed to outside in. I really think with that frame and his ability to use it inside that he should get himself to the line 10 times as opposed to look for 10 threes. They're gonna. I don't know what they're.
They did reset the shot clock.
I thought it was way short. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll be easy.
That wasn't even close. So maybe it could have just been a shot clock operator mistake.
Yeah, and they can't determine who the ball went off.
Right.
Until
That's
the
not
final
what they're
2
reviewing.
minutes.
Correct.
Yeah. So what they're reviewing right now is strictly a clock situation.
It's good clarification.
They don't have to look at this long.
No. I guess the only thing they have to do now is try to make sure they get the shot clock exactly right. Looks like they're going to set it to 11. Well, Baylor's 0 for 9 from three-point range.
And they're it's kind of like when they got there. Take a look right here and you'll see. It's kind of like when they had 30 more shots than Kansas and Waco and still lost by 5.
0 for 9. That miss could count for 2. Vital has come back in. He's got 2 fouls, remember. Well, Meyer stepped out of bounds.
That's a pet peeve of mine. The great Dick DiVenzio played at Duke, was a great coach, teacher of the game. He used to say you got to play 88 by 44. You can't play on the outside of the court because that stuff happens. 88 by 44. You got to know court geography.
If you go to Assembly Hall and it's hard to tell what's inbounds and out of bounds, okay, maybe you have a little excuse built in. Here, there's no excuse.
Well, I don't think there should ever be an excuse. I mean, that's why they put lines down and paint the court.
Yeah, it's hard to see the lines in Bloomington. McCormick elevates and scores again.
How about that? David McCormick, you know, he was 6'7", 300 pounds when he was an 8th grader. He went to Duke's football camp. They thought he had a chance to be a really good offensive tackle someday. And he got himself in shape on his own. And you can see the energy he plays with.
Man, he moved a lot defensively, covered a lot of ground. Meyer, contested 3, no. Rebound, Kansas. Here's Grimes in the open court, challenged and missed it. They're going to call a foul against the Jayhawks.
Well, David McCormick in that first game that Baylor dominated the glass, he didn't play much. Tonight he's making a big difference on both ends.
Cotter and Fonz in studio. Texas Tech at Iowa State. Little Hilton Magic coming back, Fonz?
Yeah, it looks that way. What a beautiful little fadeaway here to create some separation. But it's the 3-ball that's keeping it close. 4 of 8 from 3 for a team that's struggled in the last 5 or 6 games.
That was Taylor Horton-Tucker with the bucket there. How about TCU? They're now in the tournament, according to Joel and Artie. Dave, Fran?
All right, thank you, Chris. So that is a big win, I guess, for the Horned Frogs. Meanwhile, our scenarios for clinching the Big 12, Kansas State can get the 1 seed with a win or a Tech loss. So they have the tiebreaker. Texas Tech needs a win and a K-State loss. But they can both hang a banner. If they each win, they get to share the regular season title.
And unlike the 4 different times that Kansas shared the banner, there will be no Kansas has won its 15th. And oh, by the way, Texas Tech shares it.
Correct.
This year it'll be without Kansas.
Well, finally a 3 goes down for the Baylor Bears. That's Devontae Bandu.
He went to junior college a couple hours from here, Hutchinson, Kansas, where he was a prolific scorer. All-American lob. Out of a timeout. Versus the zone. Somebody on that Baylor bench needed to remind the team that is usually the play.
To me, 14 straight Big 12 titles, that's the signature play of the Bill Self era.
Yeah. Yep.
And there are lots of other things that they've hung their hats on over the years. Butler, Thamba wasn't looking.
You know why? Because number one, you know it's coming if you're the opponent and they still get it, and it demoralizes you. And what it does is it gives your team so much confidence in their coach that he's going to get us an easy basket that we don't even have to work for.
All we have to do is jump really high.
Exactly. And there's usually a few guys on this Kansas roster who can do that well.
Marcus Garrett in the game. Lawson was open. He didn't shoot. Dotson, that one was deflected, I think, but then it went off of Abaji and out of bounds. Well, tonight at 8 Eastern, don't miss UFC Fight Night only on ESPN+. Luis and Dos Santos. That is the main event live from Wichita. Not that far from here.
3 hours, just about.
Derek Lewis, former football player, now in UFC on ESPN+ tonight.
He can shoot it.
Wide open again, and that's 2 in a row for Bandu.
Yep, that's what he does.
And that has the Kansas head coach a little cranky. Baylor's starting to hit some outside shots. They're tied with the Jayhawks with 5:31 to go in the first half. Well, Baylor had been 0 for 10 from three-point range before Devontae Bandu got involved.
Well, this is one thing he does really well. Shoots 41% behind the arc. Once he lets it go, there's a good chance it's going to go in. He's one of a number of guys who are from up north, if you will, who have had success in Waco. Thinking back to Kenny Cherry, outstanding point guard. Of course, Brady Heslop. By the way, speaking of Bandu, one of the all-time great shooters I've seen in the Big 12. I don't know how you feel about that.
Was Brady Heslop?
Yes.
Yes, for sure. He was a great player for the Bears and part of building this program under Scott Drew. And it is interesting how this year they have adapted to their personnel and some personnel losses. I mean, Scott Drew is encouraging this team shoot as many threes as we can get.
Absolutely.
Many good looks as we can get. We want to take those looks.
And remember, they go and get it on the offensive glass, so that's a accomplishment right there.
Abaji a little too strong. Who's going to get the rebound? 2 Baylor players had it. Garrett now tied up. Arrow favors Baylor.
Well, this is a key guy right here, Marcus Garrett. He missed 6 games in the middle of conference play with a badly sprained ankle. And Bill Self, he had become Bill Self's security blanket, and they really missed him when he was out.
It's been a few weeks since you and I have been together. When we were last doing a Kansas game, he was playing so well.
Absolutely. They were running offense for him. He was grading, going downhill.
That's a long way out, isn't it? I don't know if that went.
Scott Drew looked at him like, listen, I want you to have confidence, but are you kidding me? He had that "are you kidding me" look. What's this?
That's testing.
This is unbelievable. This is heat check territory. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
When they put the 4-point play shot in, that's where it's going to be from.
Garrett, 3.
He makes just enough to be. He only makes 44%, but he makes just enough to be dangerous because he does so many other things well.
Now, whether he's the best defensive player in the country or not, he might be the most versatile.
And I think he would have been in the mix for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award had he not missed 6 games. Barry Brown still on that list. Good defense.
That one went off Bandu, and that was Garrett.
Yep. Perfectly timed by Marcus Garrett. Skyline High School, and I've said this many times, but if you're just, watch the hands right there. If you're just tuning in, Kansas fans are tired of hearing me say this, but he played for Paul Graham at Skyline High School, who was on the same coaching staff as Bill Self under Eddie Sutton. And one thing you know, if you're an Eddie Sutton guy, both are, you play half-court man-to-man defense. And he learned it well in high school. It's a big reason they recruited him here, because of that connection.
He got it into Lawson quickly. Lawson followed his own miss, but went 0 for 2 on that possession. That was a little out of control. That goes as a Baylor turnover. Bears down 3. Back after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
This is your invitation to be our guest. This is the invitation to Lexus sales event.
Lease the 2019 RX 350 for $399 a month for 36 months. Now through March 31st.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Chief, halftime coming up just around the corner. Chris Cotter, Dallin Cuff, LaFonso Ellis. We got Texas Tech and TCU in action today. On the road, needing wins for very different reasons. Highlights of those games. Plus, we got Kansas. You know, what's to play for in this game with a 3-point lead over Baylor, other than pride?
That's really it, because I'm over here watching the Texas Tech game, worried about the Big 12 title. That hasn't happened since, I was in college.
Yeah, and for Baylor, it looked like they were going to get blown out of this thing, but they battled back in there. 1 for 10 from 3, 2 of 3 from 3 over the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, without Makai Mason making a game of it. We'll see you at the half, guys.
All right, we look forward to that. Dedrick Lawson's having a tough time shooting the ball in this first half, which is rare for him. There's the resume for TCU. They referenced it. What a big win that was in Austin against the Horned Frogs, according to Joe, last team in his field.
That means nothing on March 9th, trust me. Tonight, Belmont and Murray State are going at it. There'll be some upsets in other leagues. I think TCU still got work to do. And the win in the opening round of the Big 12 tournament may not mean much, because it'll be a 7-10 matchup.
Shot clock winding down. Vital had it stripped away by Garrett again.
That's what he does.
Dotson on the attack. Abaji was wide open, passed up the 3, and then committed a turnover.
I don't think Ochai is as confident in that 3 ball as he was a couple weeks ago.
Well, we're referencing what will happen in Kansas City, those first-round games, and that's what you're talking about projected right now. That's not totally locked in with TCU's opponent, 8-9 game against West Virginia. But that's one of those where you have to win it. If you don't, then you're in huge trouble. If you do, you may not get a lot of credit for it.
Right.
But it avoids disaster.
But can I tell you something about that bracket?
Yes, please.
If TCU is healthy, that means Kawhi Noy. Look at that hustle. If Kawhi Noy is healthy, TCU can beat Kansas State or Texas Tech.
And TCU, disappointing. I don't know if that's too strong, but they were supposed to be a real contender in the Big 12 this year. That never really happened.
Yep, they've had some serious injuries. Obviously, they lost Jalen Fisher, injury, likely transfer.
Dotson for 3.
And some close losses that they should not have lost. But that is a dangerous team. They were really, really good in December. That's why the Big 12 tournament this year is going to be unbelievable.
Oh, it could be chaos.
Yes.
I mean, you literally can make an argument for almost every team. Not quite every team, but almost every team. Not just making a run, but winning the whole thing.
I agree.
Very disappointing. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but Texas must not have played very well at home. They got blown out by TCU today.
They have been an enigma. They really have. Jackson Hayes had a really good game today, but their guard play has been very inconsistent.
Butler missed the front end.
You don't want to let this game get away from you if you're Baylor right now. This can happen.
Yeah, these are a big few minutes. Inside, Lawson squared up, missed it again.
I'll tell you, he's wide open in there. He has gotten great looks. They've gotten the ball right where they want to if they're Kansas. No hesitation.
Meyer too strong on the 3. Offensive rebound and then a tackle. That's going to be a foul against Kansas. And again, it can change. It will change.
It will change. There's
so many moving parts, but if you ask Joe Lunardi right now, where do the Big 12 teams sit as far as the NCAA tournament? I mean, there will be a case for whoever wins that conference championship, I would think, to be a higher seed if it's one of those top teams.
Yep. And by the way, Kansas, it looks like this will be the first time since 2009, I believe, and I think it was Chicago, where they're going to an opening round that is not drivable. Okay, they've been to Omaha, they've been to other places like Wichita.
Now that's a decade.
Yeah, that's a decade. So they're going to be flying somewhere for the first time in a while.
Bamba made 1 of 2. So Baylor missing 3s, missing free throws. Dotson got down the court in such a hurry. McCormick back in, 1 dribble, scores.
That's nice. This is a much more confident young big man than he was about 4 weeks ago. Bill Self stuck him into the starting lineup. He lived with some mistakes, foul trouble, but at least for the end of the season and for next year, well, you're a Kansas fan, you got to be excited.
Scramble, and the Jayhawks are going to get the ball back. 10 points in this first half of the freshman.
Yeah, this is his 8th start in a row. Take a look. Big David McCormick, one of the most popular guys on the team. Now, when you say a team guy, there's a picture of David McCormick. He waited his turn, didn't play much early in the year, backing up some good players. And don't be deceived by the 3 points for the season, because lately he's played really well.
Maybe headed for another career high.
Got a 2-for-1 situation here. They'll get a shot up quickly.
Johnson goes to the rim and missed it. Well, they got a good look, and they will, in theory, get the ball back for at least one more chance before the end of the half.
Big possession right here for Baylor. You do not want to go down 7 or 8.
This is the biggest lead for the Jayhawks all half.
Looks like Kegler going to take advantage of Lawson. There he goes.
He got by him and then tried to dump it off to his teammate, and Thamba missed the layup. Offensive rebound, and Meyer puts it in. 2 seconds, 1 second from half court. Charlie Moore almost went in. Almost, but didn't. So that's a big finish for Baylor to at least hang in there.
Absolutely. No Makai Mason. They're hanging tough. Not playing great offensively. And they go to the break in this ball game.
I think the way that everything went, Baylor would have to be really pleased with being down just 3 on the road in a building where they have never won. 32-29. Kansas with the lead at half. Time to join Chris and the guys in studio.
Thank you, Dave. For NG halftime, LaFonso Ellis, Dallin Cuff here in studio with me, Chris Cotter over on ESPN News. Texas Tech playing for at least a share of the Big 12 title at Iowa State. Davide Moretti.
He's been shooting it well as of late, the Italian, but the Texas Tech Red Raiders in this game have not played well offensively, despite what we're showing you here. Hilton Magic might be back a little bit here, folks.
Here's Culver with the bucket right there, but here comes a little Hilton Magic. First, Lindell Wigginton from the corner, and then Talon Horton Tucker.
Got it.
This shot was easier for him than me saying his name. Gorgeous fadeaway.
Good recovery.
Iowa State at this point in time up 2 at the half. Texas Christian rather, and Texas. Second half, RJ Nembhard the end one here. Horned Frogs down up 13 in Austin. This is a game that TCU needs to win, and Texas is on the 10 line coming in. They also need to win. Desmond Bain putting him up 19, and then Bain with a 3 right here as if his name were Conrad Bain.
Yeah, only 14 points over the last 2 games. He was big today. 34 piece down.
Okay, so what is going on with Texas? They come into this game.
Defense optional in that game, but go ahead.
But it seems like they're safe. Now are they really safe coming in at the 10 line?
How you lose matters. And when the net ranking, that's the new metric that the league is, like the committee is using. So margin of victory matters. And you lose at home by double digits in a game that you were never competitive and you didn't defend in. TCU, on the other hand, has a huge win on their hands. So they could flip the script on that.
Yeah, I thought TCU came out desperate today, and I think it showed in every way. I said earlier, Desmond Bain had really struggled shooting the basketball from the field. Aggressive throughout this game. 34 points on the day. That's a big game from their best player, aside from Kwat Noe.
Yeah. I want to talk about aggressive. Auburn came out aggressive today against Tennessee. Javon McCormick here. Look at the tough layup through contact, giving Auburn the lead. This thing was wild down the stretch. Jared Harper in transition, flying to the bucket. Auburn up 4, but Grant Williams, he had a big day.
Grant Williams was spectacular. I thought they started to get the basketball in his hands. He made big shots throughout this game, but big down the stretch.
This is huge right here. Look at Harper. They always hit threes, and they did in this game. And when they make threes, they're tough to beat.
That was a play of the game. That was a block by Grant Williams that just fell out to Dowdy's hands, and Dowdy buries the 3.
Look at him
celebrating, baby.
Celebrating, loving it on senior day on the loveliest village on the plains. So the door opens up for Kentucky, maybe to be a 1 seed. Keldon Johnson hits the 3. PJ so strong.
He's so good. He reads where your body is. You get on the upper hemisphere of his body, so good at spinning off, getting to the baseline, and I'm not sure there's a better hook shot in the nation on that jump hook he has to the middle of the floor.
Keldon finding Ashton Hagans for the bucket. Florida, though, hanging in there. Look at the score right here.
Yeah, their offense started to function better. Kentucky took a step back defensively. Offensively, the Gators started to share the ball a little bit. Now battle back, now up 3.
Well, up 3 on the road at Kentucky. So interesting. Some teams on the road finding a little bit of hay here on this day. Look at Joe Lunardi's latest 1-2s. Tennessee moves now back to the 2 line. Kentucky up to the 1, pending what happens at Rupp Arena. And then let's not forget about Duke and North Carolina, 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN. When we come back, we're going to look at the other end of Selection Sunday. Bubble teams desperately needing a win.
Welcome back to the Jeep Halftime Report.
A road trip isn't just a road trip when you seek retribution against your biggest rival.
The best rivalry in college basketball.
Duke, North Carolina at 6. Michigan State at 8. Tonight on ESPN.
Could it be an omen? Game day earlier today at Chapel Hill. Check out senior Sam Witt.
Oh! Give me 19 grand.
Look at the basketball team, too, for North Carolina.
Right? Guys jumping around. Worry about your ankles, guys.
That was fun. Basketball team celebrating with Sam Witt as he hits the shot, gets a big paycheck. Duke's going to be without Zion, we're finding out here, Fonz, and clearly a different team without him.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, his ability to be able to get into the lane off the dribble. They post him. He gets on the offensive glass, explosive in transition. They're going to miss him on the defensive side of the basketball as well.
In this game, even more defensively, because Luke May had 30 and 15 in the last game, and he is a matchup problem without Zion in the game.
Dallas, 62 of their 72 points came in the paint for Carolina.
Bully ball.
72 points would be a dream for these two teams. Clemson and Syracuse, just because of the style of play, that's all. Syracuse had a big lead early in this game, and then they blew it to Clemson, who needs to win. Elijah Thomas slams it home. David Scarra with a jumper and one. Clemson was down 10 in the first half down. This gives them a 9-point lead.
And they ended up winning by double digits. It was a 20-plus point turnaround last 25 minutes of the game. Clemson began to guard at a better level. And offensively, they were anemic in the first 15 minutes. Started to make some shots, which helped their defense.
Marquise Reed had 24 and 10, so Clemson gets a big win as they're on the bubble and in need of W's. Seton Hall's on the bubble, too. They got a huge win against Marquette during the week, and Miles Howard. Ridiculous.
Got that from the lower Manhattan.
He had 34 in that Marquette game. He was great in this one, too, but Colin Gillespie keeping Villanova in it, down just 2, and then your guy here, Fonz.
Sandro getting it done on the offensive glass. 10 offensive boards in this game, and that was really the difference. Their ability to get on the offensive glass, 18 offensive rebounds, leading to 13 second-chance points.
Say his last name. You won't say his last name? Okay.
Oh, you mumbled that one.
Seton Hall, they had to get that win. Seton Hall had to get the win. So did Butler. They did not. Providence does. Here's Joe Lunardi's last 4, first 4, next 4. Big East represented here very well.
Which you don't want to be.
No, you don't. Back with more after this.
Report is presented by the Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend's 2019 SUV of the Year. This halftime report is presented by the Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend's 2019 SUV of the Year.
Former UFC heavyweight champ Junior Dos Santos returns to the octagon tonight to take on Derek Lewis. 10 knockouts for Santos, or 9 rather for Santos, and 10 for Lewis. So this one should be pretty good. 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. You're watching the Jeep Halftime Report.
Friday, crispy bacon, brioche bun. The brunch burger is a win because now I can have brunch whenever I want.
It's a real brunch of champions.
Oh, you referring to these old things?
No, I was referring to the burger.
Sonic's Brunch Burger or quarter-pound double cheeseburger in tots for $2.99. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
The Big 12, the nation's premier basketball conference, where the best coaches and the top athletes call home. Consistently rated the nation's best. In the Big 12, we play every team at home and away. When we say every game matters, we mean it.
Well, welcome back to our Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy here in Lawrence, Kansas, where over 14 years that covers of the media guides that have documented the great players and teams that Bill Self has had through the streak of Big 12 Conference Championships, a streak that has ended this year in 2018-2019. Part of what we're doing today is celebrating those players and those teams that made an historic streak possible. Jayhawks leading by 3 at half as we get ready to start the second half. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla. The reality is, though, Fran, as we celebrate those championships, I do believe the psyche of this particular team is a little fragile right now. They're the team that lost the streak. If they were to lose this game, not good, I don't think, for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, and it's a young team. You know, we know Lawson is a veteran, but 4 freshman starters, and you worry about that. But here's what you don't worry about. David McCormick all of a sudden is becoming a force for Kansas. Last 5 or 6 games, he's going to war in the paint, making about 70% of his shots. So if you're Bill Self, you've got to love the way this young big guy is starting to percolate down low and gain that confidence that could actually be really important going into the Big 12 tournament next week.
I mean, even just a month ago, I mean, he's been the best player on the floor. Can you imagine saying that? Even just a few weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely. He was constantly in foul trouble, and there were games, DNPs, and he was in witness protection for a while.
And I guess my point in bringing up the streak and the psyche of this team, that's an offensive foul. An illegal screen against King McClure. You see some of the notes from the first half. On paper, this game means nothing, right? The seedings are locked in. Kansas can't win the conference title. The streak has officially come to an end. I think it means a lot for the Jayhawks going into postseason. They need a little bounce back, and there he is.
Oh, that's the bounce back you need, as you mentioned, David McCormick. And hey, listen, for Baylor, you know, guys like King McClure, Mark Vital have never won. Nobody's ever won in here. But a guy like King McClure, this is the last opportunity he's going to get. And David McCormick, man, hey, right on cue. Good job, Joe McCoy, our producer, because we talked about what was there to talk about to start this game in the second half, and it has been right on the money. David McCormick, look at him move his feet and then recover and block that shot with his outside hand. Doesn't have to turn his body.
Now a sloppy turnover. Dotson on the move. Dotson goes all the way in and scores.
It's not unlike Kansas to come out and start a second half like this, especially if you know Bill Self and the motivational skills he has in that Kansas locker room when things aren't going quite his way.
This is the biggest lead for the Jayhawks. Butler, the baseline 2. Again, who grabbed the rebound?
Oh, man, he's a monster. He's 6'10", 260.
He is really moving his feet, too. You've highlighted that mobility. Abaji, 3. He knew it was off. He is in a funk right now.
Yes, he is. He has played really well. Overall this year, I'd give him an A. They didn't take the red shirt off him until January 9th. He's had 3 20-point games. A little bit of a slump lately. But even when he's not making shots, he's a very poised player.
Not much going on this possession. McClure tried to get by McCormick and really couldn't do it. Kansas ball. That's a big guy again.
Yeah, he won't get credit for a block, but you can bet King McClure knew that this young guy was lurking.
Well, that was impressive. He's a big guy out on the perimeter, having to chase one of the fastest Baylor players all the way to the rim. So a good start for Kansas here. Early moments of the second half.
You know, I want to go back about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little longer, talking to the Kansas staff. We were talking about like this team, but as the young guys go forward, and I said about 6 weeks ago, I said, you know, when you take the red shirt off of Abachi and McCormick comes around, those 2 kids will start next year. All of a sudden, they're starting now.
Starting now. A head start for this year. Timeout Baylor. Jayhawks rolling.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Well, it's unusual on Senior Day to have no senior players to honor, but 2 managers, Riley Cobb, Trent Schulte, for their service over their college careers to this Kansas basketball program. The freshmen have been such a huge part of this Kansas team. Look, under Bill Self, there's always been a good mix of veteran and young. This year, much more young.
Well, what I like about this freshman class is all 4 guys really should come back, and I think they will. Dotson is one of the best young freshman guards in America. You know, Grimes has had his moments. He came in with a little more accolades, but there's signs of improvement. Abachi, obviously, everybody has followed him, know the story. And there you see those numbers, 25 of 38. And then the revelation here in the last 3 weeks has been David McCormick. So bad news, I think, for Big 12 opponents is that there are no freshman one-and-dones for Kansas.
Well, there's a foul going for the offensive rebound on the missed free throw, and Baylor just found out it was against Vital, not against Kansas. Baylor was getting ready to inbound the ball. They were sure that was a foul against the Jayhawks, and Rick Crawford said no. And I don't think it was Vital. It was Kegler who got called for a personal. And Baylor still can't believe it.
Let's take a look right here. I don't know what that is. That is a bad call. That is one of those, you know, in the old days, like about a year ago, one of those phantom calls in here. Okay?
In the old days.
I don't know. You know, that's a. Oh, that was, what was that call? I think, you know, I'm laughing. I don't want to say anything. Oh, man. Seriously, that is a bad call. I mean, you're staring at that play, and I don't know where. I don't know. Well, let's take a look now. If it's, let's take a look.
They called it on Mario Kegler, number 4, but where is he?
No, that's a hook and hold on McCormick.
I don't know. Don't ask me to explain the hook and hold.
Well, the hook and hold has been cleaned up, but if it was a hook and hold, they would have went to the monitor. That should have been a foul on David McCormick right there.
Baylor off the inbound, went off the top of the backboard. Vital gets the offensive rebound. He'll go to the free throw line.
Not a bad foul because Mark Vital, he does a lot of things well. I call him, he's Rodman. I mean, he's Rodman. That's what he is. But he is not a good foul shooter. But this young man plays with as much energy and has as much respect around the league as any player, especially inside. You chronicled the job he does on the offensive glass. You saw it right there.
Just, you know, the numbers, he is one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. The numbers say that. If you watch the games, you might say he's number 1. Just pure relentless on the offensive glass.
Yep. You know, it's the old story, you know, 80% of success is just showing up. Well, he shows up on every shot.
Every shot.
Yep.
Nice pass. Garrett from the corner. Too flat. Long rebound to Dotson, though. And Lawson threw it to nobody. Dedrick Lawson, who has had a great first year, is not having a great game today.
No, he's missed a lot of easy shots, and he normally doesn't do that.
Wild shot with the left hand, and guess who on the offensive glass? Vital, and then the shot fake, and he'll score with a foul.
I mean, that is unbelievable. I don't know that you can teach this. I mean, this kid has a want-to and an athleticism that is second to none. Just take a look now. I mean, you're talking about David McCormick and Lawson. These are big dudes. He gets McCormick in the air, then he finishes strong. Head fake. You know, David is one thing about David. He's so excitable and so enthusiastic that you get him to leave his feet, and that's what's going to happen. But,
that's exactly what Bill Self told him. He was walking to the bench, and his head coach said, just go straight up. Just stay straight up.
He'll learn that. He will learn that.
And there's the free throw shooting you were talking about. Baylor trying to hang in without their leading scorer, Makai Mason, who is not playing today with his foot injury. In a way, almost like a rest day for him.
Yes.
Dotson baseline, had it blocked and fought to try to get it back. A foul against Dotson.
It was good hustle both ways, but if Dotson impeded the offense or the Baylor player, let's watch right here. Here's a deflection, and then, yeah, he takes him down. That's an easy call. You can't put the opponent in a negative light there as he's trying to go get the ball. Good hustle.
All the officials in the stands here disagree with the call.
I honestly, I've said this.
Butler hits the three.
I honestly, I'm not just saying this. I see a lot of Big 12 games. They've had as good a year as I watch a lot of games. Look at this on TV. This is a really solid officiating crew.
And league overall.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. This crew, as well.
Now a foul against Baylor. So the whistles are coming fast and furious here. Bears down 5.
Rich Hollenberg, Robbie Hummel, ready to bring down the curtain on the Big 12 regular season from the Octagon of Doom. And obviously the key word tonight, Robbie, emotion.
Senior night, and it's always weird. Senior night is always so weird. There's so much emotion. Your last time playing in your home arena. Fun night, but at the same time, you're playing for a conference title. What more could you want? Should be awesome here in Manhattan, Kansas.
It's going to be terrific. Join us at the 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Time hour on ESPN2. Fran and Dave, bring your Kleenex.
I can cry at any good senior day ceremony. I can get it going.
Yep, I'm with you.
I just, to me, you think about all the hours, not just the player, but the family puts in.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to get emotional. Lightfoot had a good look. Didn't finish. Out of bounds off of Kansas.
Yeah, and Kansas has some special seniors, obviously. Barry Brown, Kamau Stokes, Dean Wade. The numbers speak for themselves. That great run last year to the Elite Eight without Dean Wade. We see Dedrick Lawson shaken up a little bit.
K-State's first trio of 1,000-point senior scorers. That's a pretty impressive group. What happened to Lawson? Maybe he just got raked across the face.
They're going to take a look at it, but to me, that's just, if Flo Thamba is that good with his accuracy, without looking at where Dedrick Lawson's face is,
he'd make more layups if he were that good.
Exactly right. I attribute that to a clumsy young big guy. Let's take a look right here.
Yeah, not an elbow, just a hand. Certainly not fun.
Yeah. Listen, they could call this a flagrant one. I wouldn't. To me, it's just a young big guy. Basketball play.
Now, speaking of Dedrick Lawson, our Who's Made Him More brought to you by Guinness. He will almost certainly lead the Big 12 in both scoring and rebounding, although I guess he's having a real quiet game today. Maybe there's a chance at scoring column. That's the close one, the rebounding title he's locked up. The last guy to do that in this league was Blake Griffin a decade ago.
Pretty good.
That's good company.
Bill Self said a week ago he thought the player of the year in the league should come from the championship team. Now, if there's a tie today, we're talking now, because this guy's in the running. He's statistically been the best player in the league. Barry Brown and Jarrett Culver have had huge impacts on their teams. This could go either way right here. I thought this was a basketball play, clumsy guy. No offense, Flo, but you're just a young guy. But they might determine that he turned and he didn't look at him, but he extended that left arm. And we will have a verdict here shortly, but I don't know how you feel about it. I think, to me, I'm okay with what Bill said. And I don't know if they'll share it or not, but Culver, Brown, and this guy, Dedrick Lawson, are the three candidates.
I would make Culver the player of the year if it were up to me. And those are all worthy candidates.
Yes.
But I do think a tie should go to a player on the title-winning team, the regular season champ. And you're right, that could be split, likely will be split. But I think Culver's been the guy.
Yeah. He's had production, and he's also on a team that's red hot right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the best team in the conference going into the tournament.
He's a two-way player with all the burden that's been put on him in terms of volume. There's a lot of volume for him. Me Brown has a little bit more help, although he's had to take a big share for K-State too.
Okay, that Texas Tech
close
team,
race.
Yeah, that Texas Tech team has played. There it goes. We're still trying to figure it out. So, flagrant one. That's what it is. I could go either way on this. I don't think he did it on purpose. But you'll see that left arm at the end get extended. I don't necessarily have a big problem with it because by the letter of the law, that's excessive contact. But if you mentioned if Flo has as good an aim on those layups as he did finding Lawson's nose, he's going to be a pretty good player someday.
Well, Baylor not happy. Lawson.
Now, if I was Scott Drew, I would not be happy, but sitting over here as a impartial observer.
Yes. Lawson made them both. Now that hurts Baylor a lot because that was the ball and no points. Now Kansas hits the free throws, gets the ball back.
How many times have you been in here when something like that happens and Kansas hits a three?
Yes, many times.
Yep.
I can remember specific games.
Yes.
Charlie Moore used a little shot fake and drives to the bucket. Missed the layup.
Look at this.
Lawson got it right back. His shot was blocked, but that's another foul.
Pretty good IQ basketball right there by Dedrick Lawson. Just lurking. Take a look. He just pokes it loose.
Yeah, I'm saying he's having a quiet game, and he is, but he's got 12 points. Make it 13 now. Well, tonight, ABC's NBA Saturday Primetime presented by HyperX Gaming. And it's an interesting game in different ways than maybe we would have thought. The Celtics are in L.A. to take on LeBron and the Lakers. Kyrie and LeBron, what's going on with both teams? The Lakers are collapsing. A lot to talk about for the game tonight at 8:30 on ABC.
Of course, the Celtics have won 2 in a row.
2 good wins.
2 good wins. Kyrie has certainly, let's say, made his presence felt this year.
He does not appear to be a very happy guy.
I thought Charles Barkley said it best. You know, he's never happy. Making all that money.
Yeah. Hard to believe.
I mean, preseason, it looked like he was going to. I'm a Knicks fan, man. I don't know if I want the drama, honestly. I think Kyrie doesn't need to come to New York, personally.
Well, you could have both of the guys who have expressed their unhappiness throughout the year.
Yeah.
That one went right through the hands of Lightfoot.
I mean, I'm sure they got reasons for being unhappy, but there's a lot of people who have to trade places with Kyrie and KD.
Yes, I can think of 2 who are sitting here right now, as good as we've got it. Butler down the lane and count the basket.
Oh, this kid is good, boy. He's coached by Timmy Bird in Louisiana, the same guy that coached Tweety Carter, Baylor's first McDonald's All-American, and of course Rico Gathers. So there was a connection when he transferred from Alabama during the summer.
That is a high school program that has been good to the Baylor Bears.
Yes, yes. And Tweety played for Tim Bird at another high school, but this is the same high school that Rico played for, but no question. These are 2 teams that are going to be very good next year.
And Baylor even shorthanded today, not going away, on the road in a building where they have never won. Back to the zone defense.
And Kansas is getting the ball wherever they want.
Lightfoot just rejected. They're going to call that a jump ball.
You know, I mentioned Tristan Clark briefly. Watch this, because Tristan Clark would have been in this fracas right here as well. You see all that athleticism. When Tristan Clark got hurt early in January, he was becoming one of the best big men, not just in the Big 12, but in the country. Now, Quentin Grimes had the best game of his Kansas career opening night. 21 points, 6 of 10 against Michigan State at Champions Classic. And he's got, the potential to really grow into a good player. He's just been so inconsistent.
You watch that shot, that stroke, that finish, a high arcing three, no good. 3 different Baylor players had a chance for an offensive rebound. Almost a travel. Butler for 3.
And that was too quick. Kegler got caught up in that double team, and Butler forced that one up.
Baylor is 3 for 18 from three-point range. And they've been the best three-point shooting team in the conference.
And they don't have Mason today. That's a factor, but they still had other guys. Van Du for sure. Butler.
Lawson fouled.
Dedrick Lawson has lived in the paint today.
He has.
And especially against that zone. Himself deployed him very nicely.
Freddie Gillespie called for his 4th foul. It's worth just kind of putting in the back of your mind if you're a Kansas follower or if you're paying close attention to the NCAA tournament, if Kansas runs into a team that plays more zone defense. A little preview of how Bill Self wants it to work. I mean, Lawson, in a lot of ways, he is the perfect guy to have in the middle of that zone offense.
It's a great point. Bill Self said early in the year he was the best passing big man he's ever coached. And even today, when some of those shots aren't going for Lawson, their deployment of their guys is outstanding, and it usually is. And particularly against Baylor, who plays the zone as well as most, they seem to always get the ball where they want to go.
I like how he takes his time. He never seems to me like he's in a rush or in a panic.
The big question with NBA teams with Lawson is that overall athleticism, but his basketball skill is sky high.
Vital, another offensive rebound. Garrett got his hands down. Vital might have tweaked his ankle as he came down. He's trying to run it off. They called Garrett for a foul.
Interesting piece of officiating here because one official waited until Jeb waited until Joe DeRosa had the call right here. So let's take a look. Great hustle. That's nickel dimer right there. Could have gone either way. Could have sold it as some contact, but I thought Garrett did a good job of getting mostly, if not all, ball.
Vital's really hurting. He's saying count the basket. Why didn't the basket go in? Why didn't the basket count?
What I liked about that piece of officiating is Jeb Hartness had a whistle as well, but he waited to see what Joe DeRosa had. And when Joe made the call, he backed off, and looks like it's going to be a 1-and-1 if.
So they're calling that a foul on the floor, but Rick Crawford is over there to look at the monitor. I mean, can you? That's not a judgment call.
I don't know that that's reviewable. It may go to take a look. It might be a timing issue, or.
I mean, unless that they're saying that we did call it a shooting foul, nobody actually noticed that the ball went through the basket. But that's not what they called, I don't think.
Well, they can review a foul.
And they're counting the basket.
And they are going to count it.
Now that is strange to me.
Well,
I think it's ultimately the right call.
Yeah, reviewing the foul is fine. I just didn't know that you could review it as any act or not.
So the basket counts. Vital gets a free throw.
Ball don't lie.
How many hundreds of people in this building said exactly what you said at the exact same time?
Who was it in the NBA this week? I'm trying to remember now because the guy missed 2 free throws after a 2-shot foul, and both times after, and he had to go to the bench, and both times he said, You can see him mouth it. Ball don't wow.
Lawson, one dribble, back to the free throw line for Dedrick Lawson.
He's built a home in there today, and Baylor has not really adjusted to that. I would almost, with this team on the floor for Kansas, pack the paint and force some more shots from the perimeter.
Guy who couldn't buy a bucket in the first minutes of the game. He's got 17 and 10 with a couple steals and a couple blocks. He has scored 12 of their last 15 points. It's his 20th double-double of the season. Turnover. Good pass. Garrett had it knocked out of bounds, but that's a foul on King McClure.
If you're a Kansas fan right now, you love the Twin Towers. The big guys, McCormick and Lawson today, dominating.
Champ Week continues through March 17th on the networks of ESPN.
It's a long week. It's already underway. In fact, lots of exciting stuff happening across the country. Champ Week, 365 total games on our networks, about evenly split men's and women's. They had all the tickets punched, so to speak, to the big tournament, and 28 different conferences represented. It is a great time to be a college basketball fan.
Absolutely. We got two great games tonight on ESPN. Over on ESPN2, Belmont and Murray State.
Great game.
Great game. Got a future lottery pick. Dylan Winder from Belmont is moving up the draft blog charts.
They have two legit NBA prospects in that game. Meyer. Pretty tough shot. It almost went down. Quick shot from Grimes.
It's been about a month. But what I like about Grimes, even when they're not going in, tonight they are, there's no hesitation.
Well, there's your guy. If you're dreaming about a run for Kansas, if those shots go in, that becomes a lot more realistic.
Absolutely. Especially now with the Twin Towers. Because this team has metamorphosized. Take a look. Watch this. Catch shoot. Right there. And it always looks like it's going
Always
down.
looks good.
Yeah, always.
To me, not being around Kansas quite as much as you have this year, that's the thing that is always surprising about when he does struggle, because it always looks good.
Absolutely. You know where he was in that deep corner by the bench? When I was a young coach, I remember at Manhattan College, we had like 1,000 people at every game. As the ball is in the air to a guy like Grimes, I'd yell, shoot it. From the bench. I just said shoot it, and you want the young man to know that the coach has confidence. And I've watched practices where Bill Self's done that with him.
Can Bill talk loud enough in this gym for Quentin to hear him?
Oh yeah, because he's not far from there.
You're right.
You look at that bench, he sure can.
Well, that was a good steal, and Baylor's going to get a much-needed easy bucket.
There is a lot of time left, because one thing about this Kansas team this year is we have seen some droughts and sometimes some sloppy play. As you see Baylor now extending that zone to a little half-court pressure.
Bill Self's teams have always been known for finishing, and this year's team hasn't finished quite as well. That helps.
Absolutely. 24% on the year, but Marcus Garrett has a flair for the moment.
He was by the bench. Did anybody else shoot it there?
I would have. Absolutely.
That's a foul against Charlie Moore. Baylor's still stuck on the three made threes. Kansas has made 6 of them.
Shoot it. See? Did you hear that?
Maybe Lightfoot yelled it.
Well, that would get Lightfoot in trouble sometimes with some coaches. Like, what are you telling him to shoot it for? He's 24%.
Leave that to me.
See, Mitch said, I told you to shoot it.
See?
See? Forget what the coach says. Listen to me.
First one goes down tonight following Oregon, Washington. So we get some Pac-12 hoops on ESPN late night. Stay tuned for SportsCenter. John Buccigross and Kenny Mayne with the breakdown of Duke, Carolina. John Morant and his game to try to lock in an automatic berth. Celtics, Lakers in LA. Lots more to talk about.
You know where Jay Billis was this morning?
Where was he?
He was at Wake Forest. It was senior day.
Oh, for
and Anthony Billis, team captain. And
young Anthony.
It was really cool. They did a 94 feet with Anthony Billis.
Oh, no, that's great.
That was awesome. That was one of the best things I've seen on college game day today, all season.
Dotson back in. He's been on the bench for a good long while. Grimes now on the attack after making some shots from the outside. Just didn't finish. 3-on-2 for Baylor. McClure steps back into a three, and he still cannot get one to go down. Man, he has had great looks. That was a tough shot, and the three does go in for Jared Butler.
Man, I can't wait to watch that kid grow up. Jared Butler, what a performance today.
Every time you think Kansas is putting it away, Baylor's just not going away. That's his career high. He's got 23.
Right. He's been better and better and better as the season goes on. Today they're playing without Makai Mason, the leading scorer, Yale transfer, but this kid has game. He definitely does. He's made big shots for a surprising Baylor team this year that already has 10 wins. They've battled a lot of adversity, injuries, of course, being the main thing, but you just like to see guys who step up, especially as freshmen, because you get a chance to get excited about what they're going to be like in the future.
Yeah, he's the guy, when Tristan Clark was hurt and out for the rest of the year, he's the guy who actually came into the starting lineup. Scott Drew essentially said, our whole team's got to change. It's not like Butler stepping into the position of Clark, but he's the guy who has started since then, and it's amazing that they didn't suffer more without Tristan Clark, who was playing at such a high level.
You know what that's called? It's and Bill Self's done it as well. It's called great coaching.
The lob.
How about that? How about that, man? the Baylor bench, the coaches are like, didn't I tell him? Did you tell him? I thought you told him. Out of the timeout zone.
You got to be looking for it out of every timeout against Kansas. There's Butler again, not this time. Long rebound, and Dotson was fouled. Maybe not the worst foul, although Kansas is in the bonus.
Well, here it's very simple. You put your best athlete in the corner, okay? And now we're going to swing it once, and we're going to screen the middle of the zone, and we're going to throw it up, and we're going to catch it and lay it in.
I mean, it is such a subtle, nice move by McCormick also, where you just kind of stand, be big, get in the way.
Just get in the way like you're in, Grand Central Station and you just bump into somebody. No, but what it does is it's an incredible confidence booster. The kids just know you always have a plan to get an easy basket, and that's what makes Bill Self.
Coach credibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that he doesn't have a lot of it anyway, but I get your point.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason he's got a lot of it, because he's done this for a long time.
Dotson made the first, missed the second. McCormick got a hand on it, but Baylor ball. 9 minutes to go. Kansas trying to finish off an undefeated season at home. McClure, just been a tough game for him. He is fighting with his teammates down low. Vital comes away with the ball. No shock there. Found a teammate open. That three no good. Another offensive rebound, and this time a Kansas foul. That's what Baylor does. They are relentless. Foul on Grimes, his second.
They treat a missed shot like it's a pass to somebody else.
Yeah.
Isn't
it funny, the different philosophies among coaches? There are a lot of coaches who just send everybody back. Maybe it'd be too strong to say we don't even try for offensive rebounds, but
there are some teams that play that
just
way.
don't want them.
As a coach, you have to figure out. Are we sending everybody back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back, and if you watch Michigan State, Tom Izzo's still relentlessly sending guys to the offensive glass. But you have to be careful, because if you don't get the rebound, you open yourself up to transition defense problems. But not this Baylor team.
McCormick spin move up and under. McCormick just didn't go down. Here comes Butler and Baylor. Nice no-look pass. Vital. That was going down, and it's a goaltend. It went in anyway.
Oh, we had a great view of that.
Great pass.
Yep, Jared Butler. First of all, Vital's got to run. Watch a little. He sees him, and now he looks the other way. Oh, perfect no-look. And a great finish by Mark Vital, who was iffy this morning. We were told that Scott Drew might rest him a little bit.
And he's tweaked his ankle in this game, and he is still playing. He ran harder than everybody down the floor.
You know, warrior is not an understatement with him.
Lawson, that was a nice move. Went right by Gillespie.
You know, if I say he has the old man game, and I'll hear it, but he's got an old man game at the Y. He's the guy you can never stop. He probably played D3 somewhere, you know what I mean? But he's always winning like 8 in a row at the Y at lunchtime.
And don't take it as an insult.
I know.
Vital, that looked like a travel.
Now, he's allowed to do that as long as it's an awkward move. But
foul going against Baylor.
Well, this guy has been amazingly consistent all season long. And this is what he does well. He is a finisher par excellence.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Texas Tech playing for at least a share of the Big 12 regular season title today. And Jared Culver put the team on his back. 27 points for the young man out of Lubbock. And it's a lead right now, under 2 minutes left to go for the Red Raiders. That game's over on ESPN News. Coming up next, DeAndre Hunter in Virginia and Louisville. This game will start on the ESPN app. Dave, Fran?
All right, thank you, Chris. So we still have 7:43 to go in this one. Kansas State will need to win to share the title with Texas Tech, but if they do win, they will be the #1 seed in Kansas City.
So voting starts tonight after the last game. Jared Culver's got 27. They're going to win a piece of the title. Right off the bat, there's a guy that probably is now the front runner for the player of the year.
It's a pretty good final argument. High arcing three. Man, Baylor's had a tough day. 4 for 23 from the outside. Abaji went right by and missed the layup. Here's Lawson for 3. We talked about his better outside shooting. Had a good look there. Butler having his career game, and he went right by the defense. It was blocked out of bounds, though. Well, tonight on ESPN, that doubleheader we've been talking about, Sonic Blockbuster, both games, Duke, Carolina, and the ACC. That one will be at 6 in Chapel Hill at the Dean Dome, and then in East Lansing, the Breslin Center will be rocking Michigan State for perhaps a share of the Big Ten title. King McClure catch and shoot air ball. Wow.
He has not had a great final appearance here in Allen Fieldhouse. But how about Virginia? They have absolutely dominated in ACC play the last 3 years. A couple years they only played Duke once. But this year Duke's got them twice. And you see those 2 losses hung on Virginia by Duke.
And I still, you know, Duke shot the ball so well from the outside in both of those games. Not that you should toss that out, because they did it. They earned those 2 wins. I'm sure you can read as much into those in terms of the negative column for Virginia as you would had those games played out a little differently.
Well, and exactly. And next week, hopefully Duke gets Zion back, and you just wonder how Zion will be, having missed this last couple weeks of the season. I want to ask you, isn't it cool that Michigan and Michigan State are playing for a Big Ten title tonight?
There haven't been as many times as you would think where those two in the same year have had head-to-head games like that. Butler too strong on the offensive glass. Baylor sticks it back in.
Well, they are relentless, but yeah, I think
unlike Duke, Carolina, where year after year those two are playing for championships when they go head-to-head. That hasn't happened as much as you would think with the Spartans and the Wolverines. Great basketball in the state of Michigan this year. Dotson challenged, finished anyway. He is a strong kid.
Oh yeah, well, that's what he does. He is not afraid to go in traffic.
Point guard matchup in that Michigan State game. Winston and Simpson are such different players. They're such good players. To me, that's the game within the game.
Yeah. What a defensive player Simpson is.
Vital almost hit the three. That one looked pretty good. Pretty good doesn't count if it doesn't go in.
That's exactly right.
I guarantee you Xavier Simpson's been thinking all week about his, maybe all month, about his rematch, because Winston got him for 27 the first time they met. Under 6 minutes to go here. Kansas up by 12. Does Baylor have a final push? Some of those outside shots are going to have to go down. Like this one. King McClure, no. Vital still playing so hard. He hit the floor. King McClure is 1 for 10 and 0 for 7 from three-point range. That's not like him.
No, and a lot of those were good looks too.
A lot of them. Like almost all of them.
Yeah.
Lightfoot used his elbow to clear a little space and scored.
He's a popular guy in this part of the town because of his energy.
He plays hard. He does.
Every night. There's a good example right there. Mitch Lightfoot
on the floor. Couldn't quite wrestle the ball away. That was a challenge three, and it went in for Kegler. The timeout, Scott Drew and Baylor. It's something that I'm fascinated by, and you've talked about it with both these teams, but particularly Kansas this year, Fran. How many times Bill Self has had to remake his team as they've lost players, gained players, lost them again. It's been fascinating to watch.
Exactly. Early in the year, they were really comfortable playing two posts down low. Take a look. And Azubuike, remember, before he got hurt, they were 9-0. But Lawson was really like on the backside there playing off of Azubuike. Azubuike goes out. Then they go to a four-guard lineup with Lawson as the key one big man. And that worked well. They were shooting it so well. And then when Gerald Vick left, they went back to two bigs, but you saw McCormick and Lightfoot play inside, and that allowed Dedrick Lawson to play away from the basket. And here are the numbers. It's crazy. Early in the season, he shot 21% from three. Last 12 games coming into today, Dedrick Lawson is making 47% of those three balls. And now with McCormick establishing a little offensive game down low, Bill Self's got to be really happy with that inside game.
So with McCormick's emergence today, going into Kansas City, going into the NCAA tournament, does that change again to any degree how Kansas wants to run the offense?
No, because Lawson can still play away from the basket. Now you have a little more confidence in Big David McCormick that when you throw it into him in there, he can go get you buckets at about a 70% rate here over the last 5, 6, 7 games.
Pretty good 1-2 punch right now. Lawson, who had a quiet first half and missed a lot of open looks in the second half. He's got a double-double in the second half alone. He has dominated the second half of this game.
Watch the lob here.
They've done it almost every time. Abaji had the ball. They had to get the ball out of his hand so he could be the guy to go catch and dunk. Lightfoot just kind of flung that one up there. Got bailed out. We do have a final score from Ames. Texas Tech on the road got the win. They won by 7. And so that means the Red Raiders at worst will share a Big 12 conference title.
They have been absolutely scintillating here the last month of the season.
Culver finished with 31 today on the road in a clinching game. Big time.
And right now, your front runner for Big 12 Player of the Year.
He's my pick. Kansas State.
I've had
might
5.
Still have something to say about it.
Yeah, and I've had 5 different picks.
Well, it changes. It should change.
Absolutely. I had Scott Drew as Coach of the Year about 3 weeks ago, and he'll still get votes. But you know what? Now K-State, Bruce Weber's done an amazing job. Chris Beard's team was picked 7th.
Yeah.
Okay. They lost 4 seniors and a first-round pick freshman, one and done guy. If I were voting today, I think Chris Beard has to get my Coach's Year vote.
That's a move by Butler. Right by Lightfoot. He's having a career game. 26 for Jared Butler, just a freshman. his first experience in it. He loves Allen Fieldhouse.
Now, it's a bit of a stretch, but if Makai Mason plays next week, and he's going to have to play 3 games in 3 days, not sure he's capable of doing that. I don't know that you couldn't consider Baylor as a dark horse team to make a run because of the defense, the athleticism, Butler improving, and then Makai Mason, who's already dropped 40 this year. Look at this kid. I mean, this kid is the real deal, folks. Jared Butler. And wait till Clark comes back next year, because he's got a chance to play at the next level. Both of these teams will be very, very good next year.
Abaji baseline, good.
Ochai's been quiet here the last 4 or 5 games, but he's got enormous potential. The best athlete on this Kansas team.
Butler just taking over for Baylor. That's a blocking foul. They're thrilled again with the officiating here. Timeout on the floor. Let's go back to studio and check in with Chris Cotter.
Okay, Dave and Fran, just to let everybody know, they have tip over at JPJ, Virginia and Louisville. You can see Virginia's up by 3. This game can be seen on the ESPN app. As soon as we wrap things up from Lawrence, we'll move it over here to ESPN. Until then, though, we'll take a break. Back to Kansas after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%.
How can you not love this place? What disappointment. Big 12 championship run comes to an end. They still love. This place is jam-packed and has been rocking the whole game.
16-3. One of my first experiences coming here about 12, 13 years ago. KU, Missouri. Game was starting at 6 Central because of a 7 o'clock East start, right? It was a big snowstorm that day, and I said to myself, wow, 6 o'clock start, that's going to kill the crowd.
No.
No. No. 5:45, building was packed. I've never doubted this place ever since. No place like it in America.
No place. There are a lot of great places.
To me, no place.
I'm with you. If you force me to rank, number 1. Abaji, a little out of control. Look, this game is not quite over. Baylor needs to get points just about every time. Those will count as points. That's 2 for Bandu.
This is very similar to what we've seen a number of times this year. A game looking like it was salted away. And now the crowd's got to get back into it.
The clock is the ally for Kansas.
I would go inside right here. Not waste a lot of time. See if I can get the ball inside.
You got a guy who's got a double-double in the second half alone in there. Vital trying to play position defense against him. Dotson, runner, draws a foul. That's a big call.
Wow, it's a big call, but...
And they say he got him with the hip, shoved him off balance.
I think at the very last second, Jeff Hartness had a really good view of it. A lot of contact today. Difficult game to officiate. Fouls have been virtually the same.
And he gets quiet enough on free throws. I can hear what Scott Drew is arguing.
Yeah.
And essentially what he's saying is you reward a wild shot. He had no chance.
Right.
He was out of control.
You see that little push at the end?
That's not a foul.
I know.
It maybe looks like a foul.
You fight those guys on Twitter today. All those referees who tweet me after every game.
That's why I'm not on anymore. I don't want to fight.
I don't care. We got him.
Butler lost the ball, and it goes out of bounds off Butler. Now we are under.
You can review it.
Under 2 minutes. They are going to review it.
Yep.
And Butler was furious right away. He was sure that was not off him.
What I liked about Butler driving was that he was going to try to get the same call that Dotson got. And I think, he got it. He hit it at the very end.
I think he hit it, but then I think it ricocheted off Dotson's leg.
But then I think he hit it again. Oh, maybe not. It's off the leg, so they'll fix it.
Yeah, and they already have. Now that's how replay is supposed to work.
Exactly.
I could rail against replay, but that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. See, from that angle, I thought he hit it one more time. But that was quick. All right, so we're good. This is a big possession right here.
It is.
You hit a 3 and cut it to 4, and you'll have some people inhaling.
And forgetting to exhale. Got to get the ball in, and they almost don't. Bandu. Scott Drew's losing his mind.
Well, he thought that Bandu got hit from behind, and
it doesn't even need to be said.
I'm not
where we are.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. This is a good officiating.
It is.
Don't go there.
It is. It is. Great pass.
Yep.
And it's been a well officiated game.
Well, hey, they're no different than everybody else.
Butler for 3, too strong.
I mean, Bill Self hasn't coached the perfect game today. Baylor hasn't shot well.
Who plays harder than Mark Vidal, by the way? He is just on the floor every possession. Isn't it funny you watch these kind of reactions and think, oh, they said there was nothing at stake here today. There was nothing to play for. Tell Scott.
Well, he's telling Joe DeRosa right now. He said, you get that nickel dimer at one end. My guy gets clipped at the back of the head on the other end. But you say you didn't see it. I'm just telling what he's saying. I'm not agreeing with him. We need the same call, Joe, as the one they're getting at the other end, because the guy grabbed his short, but you didn't see it, but you saw the other one. See, I'm just giving you the.
Yes.
It's like a historical novel. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what he's saying, but I've said the same thing a number of times.
Historical fiction.
Yeah, historical fiction. There we go.
So Dotson made the first, and Kansas is putting this one away now.
When my team was really good, I mean this. When I had a Manhattan team that dominated its league, we won 45 straight at home. I would go home and I'd watch the tape and go, oh, that was a bad call against the other team. It happens. But I said before, by and large, officiating in this league has been great.
Raji comes to that play by him. Final minute, Kansas is going to finish off an undefeated season at home. Dotson lost the ball, and Bill Self is losing his mind. Bandu cleans up the miss. And it's not going to matter, but there's those little mistakes late in games have really hurt Kansas this year. And that was almost another one. They're calling a foul against Vidal.
Well, what I'm going to be really interested to see next week in Kansas City, we mentioned it really early in the broadcast, is will Kansas play with a chip on their shoulder and try to win a tournament title? There have been times in the past where Bill Self's going to try to win everything. We know that. But there have been times in the past where he definitely didn't put the tournament in the same place as the regular season for obvious reasons. The other thing I'm watching out here today and saying, I would not want to play Baylor. I would not want to play them, especially if Makai Mason. Remember, this is a guy that got 40 against TCU, so they may not have had a lot to play for today, but I've been impressed with the effort both ways.
Yeah, I think those are good points. Do you have an early favorite in Kansas City? I know you're going to be there to call the games. I'm not saying.
No,
but do you think there's a team that might have an edge in that day after day tournament format?
No, I think the team that has the ultimate advantage right now is Texas Tech, because over the last month they have won, I think, 11 in a row or 10 in a row, and
playing the best going in.
Playing the best going in, without a doubt. But if you and it sells out every year. There's nothing like the Big 12 tournament. In my mind, it's the best conference tournament in college basketball because it's always in Kansas City. Great fan support, terrific teams, and this year more than ever, incredible balance.
Yeah, now that we don't have a Madison Square Garden old Big East, I don't think there's an argument.
That's good sportsmanship by Marcus Garrett right there. I like that.
Well, they've been playing basketball here for a long time. They have now had 20 undefeated seasons at Allen Fieldhouse in the history of this program. So no Big 12 title, but another year where no losses on this court for Bill Self and the Jayhawks. Pretty impressive.
There's no place like Allen Fieldhouse. It's the St. Patrick's Cathedral of college basketball.
Enjoy Kansas City. Going to be a wild Big 12 tournament.
Always a pleasure being with you, Dave.
Kansas gets the win, 78-70 the final score. Tom Hart and Jimmy Dykes are in Charlottesville. Louisville, Virginia. Take it away, guys.